Shalom, I'm giving all praises to Yahweh Ba'Shem, Al-Shai Ba'Shem, Rakakodah, Shalom to the 144,000 and the rest of the elect out there, Shalom to you all. And I'm going to entitle this video, Will Gog, Magog be cast into the lake of fire a second time? Tackling Revelation 20, verse 8, Ezekiel 37, or at least parts of it, and Isaiah 24. So, if you've been watching the IUIC, and the leader of the IUIC, he was on the show, and what's his name, Ronald Dalton, called about the Japhets, and about the sons of Japhets, and Togarmah, and Gog and Magog. And he partially quoted Ezekiel chapter 37, which Ronnie Dalton, he said he teaches, and this is old school stuff, that so-called white man descendants of the sons of Japhet, which that was old school stuff. Like I said, my parents taught me that. They didn't even touch on Edom. They didn't even deal with Edom. They just said so-called white people stem from and then, they used to also teach that the three sons of Noah, Ham, Shem, and Japheth, how they say it, Ham, well, black people, that includes us, Shem, I believe they said that, no, Shem, I forget what they said about Shem, but Ham is us, that we are Hamites because we're black, and Japheth were so-called white people, and I believe there was books that said that too. That was like the thing back there, talking about the late 60s, early 70s. That's when everybody's calling the Most High Yahweh and Yeshua. And the Shemites were like Chinese people. They don't know shit. Hey, Ron Dalton, you know that now. Ron Dalton that had the little called in, the dude, the Hamitic looking dude from Africa that has that show, directs that show, or his platform. He has had Bishop Nate, the bishop. He had Bishop Nate on there several times, and I believe he had an open line for people to, click the link to get this live, go on live. So I believe he set it up. He said, I'm gonna get Nate to come on the show, and then I'm gonna have you come on there, and you're gonna question him. Because when Ron Dalton came on the show, which he's completely lost. I wouldn't even give him the time of day. He's completely lost. He came on there, and Nate looked a little nervous. And when there was you couldn't hear the guy's voice. You can see Ron Dalton talking, but no sound. So Nate hurry up and said, let's move on to the next one. And he said it. I picked up. He can deny it, but I picked up on the fact that he said he don't want to deal with Ron. I don't want to deal with him either, because he's a bug. It's like talking to a crazy person. He doesn't know anything. He damn sure doesn't know any prophecies. He said these Hebrew Israelites teach about UFOs. So why would you argue with a guy like that? He got his own. He's going in a whole different direction. He thinks the so-called all white people are sons of Japhet. Then he went into the thing. If you're Abraham's seed, they're all Hebrews. How can they? He doesn't know. So you're wasting your time arguing with a fool. Scriptures say, what's the word? That Paul said, what's the damn word? It's a simple word. I got to go look it up. And own conceit, conceit meaning, or conceited meaning, you got the answers, and anybody else that says anything otherwise outside of what you're saying, they're wrong because you got all the answers. That's conceit. At least you be blind in your own conceit. That blindness had happened in part to Israel until the time of the Gentiles, which were the Israelites, come in. Till all the number of Israelites come into this thing, meaning the elect. But so you can watch the video. You can watch my video. I did it. You know what I'm gonna do? Let me do this. Let me do this here, so I can show you the video. Okay. I'm gonna show you that, you know, Nate, he's breaking the scriptures down the way he wants to break them down. You know, he's teaching that this Ezekiel 38 and Revelation 20 and 7 on down, which is talking about the same thing. The prophecy that Ezekiel got and the prophecy that John on the Isle of Patmos got, it was the same prophecy. Spoken a little bit different, given to them a little bit different, but it's almost identical. But then to back it up, he goes into Isaiah 24, which has absolutely nothing to do with Ezekiel 38 and or Revelation 20. So, you know, Bishop Nathaniel has his little thing. If you can't get it, he'll give you another precept, which makes it even more confusing, because Isaiah 24 doesn't go with that. Was that Job 14:10, I believe it is, about getting the mark, and then which he links up with Revelation 13 and 16. You know, he brings, I got new stuff, you know. And certain guys, there's zombies in there, say they got a body bag. What are you guys gonna do when the mark actually comes? Which it is gonna come. It's not if, but when it comes. What is Bishop Nate gonna say, or what is anybody that's teaching the same thing as he's teaching? You know. Let me do this. I'm gonna see if I can find this video so you can watch it. Yeah, nobody ever trusted this guy. He was always suspect to us, and he looked like an Edomite, so I said, this guy might just be an Edomite. But we first knew about this guy when he went into a church cursing people out in the church, and the cops came, and he's cursing, trying to fight the cops. And we said, this guy is definitely suspect. We got to keep an eye. So we've been keeping an eye on this guy for the longest. And he's completely, everything that he does videos. He what you call it? The elder out of Baltimore, Karatazaba, he did a recent video. Matter of fact, not even 24 hours ago, maybe 12 hours ago, where the guy is going, no, there ain't no grape thing. And there's a lot of guys that were in GMS and probably still are. There's one guy that just left one day. He's been in this thing for years. The grape thing, we've been teaching him for years. And he left, and he told him the reason why he left is because of the grape. I can't see the grape thing. But why didn't you leave a long time ago? And he said he always had doubt. If you always had doubt about this truth and the Most High, you wouldn't go into them churches and you wouldn't be cursing out no cops. So let me just go ahead and see if I can find this. Let me see. Okay, so this is it right here, so you can watch it. And you can actually watch the original that was put up by Prince of Darkness, which is this guy right there. I call him Prince of Darkness. But then he does it based upon another original, which the Hamitic guy, the lollipop head, Hamite, put together. That's the original. So you can actually see the dialogue, right? Was that was that a solar eclipse? Was that a solar or a lunar eclipse? I'm waiting for the answer. Bishop Nate may fold under pressure. Yeah, he folded under pressure. First of all, I would change the subject on the guy, and then he would say, "Well, why you change the subject?" I said, "Because I can do what I want to do, and if you don't like it, you can hang up or you can keep it moving. You don't control the narrative. That's the one thing with us. We control the narrative now. That's a topic right there. See, when I said about vocab and Christianity, don't engage with them. Just call the cops on them. And what can they say about that? Can they bring out a scripture? No, they can't. Because we done dealt with them. Everything that you're going to ask, we done dealt with, and we done answered it, right? So this guy, he's waxing worse and worse, trying to come off deep. And the more he tries to come off deep, the more of a bigger laugh that we have. We're laughing at this guy right now. You added in Isaiah chapter 24, and that links up the pit. That pit is in the Caucasus Mountains, where the Scythians dwell. So anyway, and you know what I'm gonna do? So let me just go into these precepts right here. So Ezekiel 38 links up with Revelation 20. We can start at 7. So he's saying that this is the second. This is when Esau goes down 1,000-year reign, as in the 4th verse. And then we're going to be 1,000 years in the kingdom, and Esau is going to, they're going to regroup, and they're going to get with other nations, and then they're going to come against us, and they're going to arrest the Most High and his son. They're going to shackle him up for about a hot minute until the Most High can figure out how to break those bonds. See, that's why I call you guys zombies. Zombies. Any stupid, any stupidity that comes out of Nate's mouth with them scriptures that don't even line up, and you guys don't budge. You guys don't budge. And I was never taught that way. And he never taught that. If you go back 10 years ago on YouTube, he never taught nothing like that. He just recently started teaching about hell. And he's waxing. This is why rocks and tear gas canisters, and they wasn't thrown at you by the church. The police gave it to the church, and the church, no, the tear gas canisters was shot by a what do you call that? It's like a gun that shoots it, because you can hear a boom, boom. It was the police doing that to you. Bunch of dumbasses. So anyway, it says, let me do this. Let me read through this quick. Satan bound. Now, you go to the Bible Hub commentary, they'll say spiritual demon Satan, and this is Esau, the physical counterpart of spiritual demon Satan. And I saw an angel come down from heaven, having the key to the bottomless pit. Who has the key to the bottomless pit? Yahushua. Pit, and a great chain in his hand. It was a spiritual chain. We are put in, and Peter said we are put in chains and prisons. Remember when Yahushua spoke to us in the prison? He came down in the prison, meaning we're in prison right now. America is a prison for Jake. And he laid hold on the dragon, that old serpent, which is referring to the physical counterpart of the spiritual demon Satan, which is the devil and Satan, and bound him 1,000 years. What was that talking about? Time period. The time that we ruled. You can really go to 1,000 years. You go to 325, Constantine the Great, until our downfall, which is started around 1350, and it took about 100 plus years to fully take us down. Plus, we got hit with the bubonic and the pneumonic plagues, which killed 2/3 of our people and weakened us, so this Esau can take over. So the Most High had to do that. He said, look, if I left them in their full strength, Esau couldn't take them over. It was called the Black Death, right? Which is the devil and Satan, and bound him 1,000 years. So when he was loose out of the pit, That was during the time of Christopher Columbus. So we're talking 500 years ago. A little bit more than 500 years. And cast him into a bottomless pit, that's Europe, and shut him up, excuse me, and set a seal upon him, that's a spiritual seal. Like we have a spirit. Jake cannot wake up to this truth because there's a spiritual seal on them that's got their brains locked. When we tell them that the Israelites, they can't see it. The ones of you that can see it, the Most High took that seal off of you so you can see it. That he should deceive the nations no more. Because when did he deceive the nations? Under the Roman rule. So he's going to come back and he's going to deceive the nations again by his system. Till 1,000 years should be fulfilled. And after that, he must be loose a little season. So that 1,000 years being fulfilled, he must be loose for a little season. It's talking about the time period of the mid to 1400s. Christopher Columbus came over here. Because when they went to the New World, right, to the U.S., and from there, from they went to the East. You had the Monroe Doctrine. You had what was called a Manifest Destiny, where you had the saying was "Go west, young man." So it was about going further west. So they conquered the West, and then they eventually conquered the world. And that's talking about the beast system, which includes America, Canada, the NATO nation, the EU nations. They're in the power seat. And the unofficial official head is Babylon the Great. So that little season is 500 years. And I saw thrones, and they that sat upon them, and judgment was given unto them. That's the kingdom. That's us in the kingdom. And I saw the souls of them that were beheaded for the witness of Yahushai and for the word of the Most High, and which had not worshipped the beast, neither his image, that's not Caesar Borgia, neither had received his mark. So some of us are going to be put to death. So get your mindset that you can be put to death. You and some of you are going to be locked up and let go. Revelation 2:10, and some of you are going to be put to death. So you got to get your mind right for them putting you to death by, chopping your head off, or firing squad or whatever. But it said they're gonna give me a second. They use the word beheaded, right? Let me see. Okay, beheaded. They said beheaded. I'm gonna look that word up. Beheaded means you get your head chopped. Paul was beheaded. In the French Revolution, they had a guillotine, which I gotta look up the word guillotine. I know it's a French word, which they put you on this device and they pull a lever and a sharp blade comes down and chops your head, and your head rolls into a basket. And that's what they did to Queen. What was her name? Antoinette. Which she wasn't an evil person. She was trying to help the people, but her husband was fucking the people over. You know. You got to go into that story. I forget the name of the prince that I believe she's originally from Germany. She could have been a Jake too, and we always say to the Edomites. But the prince, I forget the prince. Somebody help me out. Who she married? That she didn't get pregnant, and they're wondering why she ain't getting pregnant. Come to find out, this guy didn't know where to stick his rod in. They had to show him. Scholars say this, in history. They said they had to show him, look, you got to this is your penis. You got to put it in her thing so she can get pregnant. So this guy was so fucking stupid. And she wasn't too smart either. It said neither his image, and that's not a picture. If you teaching that the image of the beast is a picture of Caesar Borgia, and the Caesar Borgia speaks, it's talking about some movie about the white Jesus, you're a fucking idiot. Neither had received his mark upon their foreheads or in their hands, right hand, left hand, which is the microchip. And like I said, you don't have to, IUIC, ISUBK, you don't have to Wi-Fi. You don't have to believe it. You know what? You know when you're gonna become a believer? When it actually comes to pass. When your time comes up where, okay, this region we're gonna chip these people, so you gotta line up, you gotta go to this office or whatever the case may be. That's when you're gonna believe it. That's when you're gonna say GMS was right. That's when you're gonna say there has been a prophets among us, and they lived and reigned with the Messiah 1,000 years. So Nate is saying after the 1,000 years, Esau's going to be plotting and scheming, and he's going to get the upper hand. Now, mind you, it says, "So we shall forever be with the Lord." That's either that's 2 Thessalonians 3, if I'm not mistaken. I went through it the other day. Then we which remain shall not hinder, and not too many words, them that'll be risen up first, because the dead in the Messiah shall rise up first, then we shall be raised up with them. So we're gonna see Abba. We're gonna get a chance. If you want to elect, you make it in one of the ships, you get a chance to meet Elijah. You know? And King David and these men are the Most High. And you're gonna meet women too. So it says, then when we lift it up, it said, then we will be forever be with the Lord. So 1,000 years in, the Lord's going to take a vacation. See how stupid that sounds? See, at IUIC, they don't teach you to think. They teach you how to think. They don't teach you to think. They teach you how to think. We here at GMS, from the leadership on down, we teach you to think. We give you the tools, the blue letter, the Bible hub, the maps, the documentation, how to cipher, go through Google and Chat GBT and these other. Y'all didn't know nothing about that. None of y'all know about that. Y'all didn't know how to get into these tools like we do. And the Most High gave myself the blue letter. Everybody and their mama uses, even Christians use the blue letter. Who's the first guy that pushed out, that came across the blue letter? Myself. And then the apostle Kabar and Apostle Rhymelov started using it. Apostle Ricard, not too much. I believe he uses it now. But then they started using it. And anytime we would do a video, we would always go to the blue letter. So everybody picked up on it. Now they'll tell you, no, we've been using it. No, you were not using the blue letter. So it says, and then Nate used the blue letter too, and he goes into the Greek and he plays. We don't know the Hebrew, but guarantee you behind the scenes, he's looking up, he's clicking on Hebrew words and Greek words. Guarantee you. But the rest of the dead live not again until 1,000 years were finished. This is the first death. Now that means that Israel's going to come back through us in that 1,000 years. It said, blessed and holy is he that have part in the first resurrection. On such the second death have no power. The second death is when this destruction comes. So if you're not a part of the 1/3, the elect, you're not going to make it. And you're going to come back through us inside that 1,000-year period. It says, they shall be priests of the Most High and of the Messiah, and shall reign with him 1,000 years. But according to Nate, Bishop Nate, Esau's going to regroup. They're going to be whispering. This is the time we're going to get it. I got the key to the bottomless pit, and I'm going to open that bad boy. I pickpocketed your house shy, and I took the key. And all of a sudden, we're going to be having a good time. And all of a sudden, get them. Edomites all over the place, beating the shit out of us. And locking up the Most High and his son. And they gotta break out of the chains. They gotta have fun with this, man. Like the movie, The Last Dragon with the kid. They tied up the kid, and he pop lock his way out of the ropes when the mafia tied his ass up. Well, I can picture the Most High and his son doing that. They started pop locking, and the chain fell off of him. No, that's not gonna happen. Like I said, if you go in there if you go if you go follow Nate in his classes without using your own reasoning skills, you'll get sucked up to it. Nate really believes we got spies. You know what proves we don't got spies in your camp? You probably got spies in our camp. That Edomite is probably a spy from Nate. I'm joking. You know how that there's no GMS spies with the purple and your class is spying on you, because the crap and blue skies that you teach them guys, these spies would be cracking up. They'd be cracking up every week. You'd be like, get out to school. You're always laughing. So we ain't got no spies in your school. So though you like to do shit, you're a cop. You do that police wickedness. So it says, 6th verse again, blessed and holy is he that have part, back to the basics. Blessed and holy is he that have part in the first resurrection and second death, blah, 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 blah. Satan, which is the white man, freed, doomed. So when was he freed? Let's read on. And when 1,000 years were expired, what 1,000 years is it talking about? What 1,000 years is it talking about that's going to be expired? It's in the 3rd verse. The 1,000 years were expired when Christopher Columbus and Queen Isabella and King Ferdinand and Torquemada and the Moors going down, Granada is the great stronghold Granada of the Moors going down, because the Moors are Israelites too. Don't listen to Lord Abba. He brings a lot of confusion. It says, and when 1,000 years were expired, Satan shall be loose out of his prison. This is why Nate says, we're going to, 4th verse, we're going to be ruling for 1,000 years, and then Gog and Magog are going to come out, and they're going to just attack us. And the Lord's got to break out of that. They're going to tie up the Lord. They're going to tie up Yahushua, and they're going to have to pop lock their way out of it. See, I'm making fun at it. I'm clowning on this guy. Because he thinks this is 1,000 years after the 4th verse, right? The 1,000 years is in the 3rd verse. It says expired. That means around about the 1350, it was expired. Because the count goes back to 1,000 years. Constantine, the first, and then the lineup of the different Byzantine kings, right? That's what it's talking about. We're going to be in the kingdom. Ain't nobody going to jump us in the kingdom of heaven. But if you had a working brain and you use reason, you would see that this guy's a fraud. And shall go out to deceive the nations, that means they're going to have to set up schools again. We're going to be in the kingdom, and Esau's going to set up schools and colleges and sanitation department. They're going to have police out there. And we're not going to realize, because we're going to have such a good time in the kingdom, we're not realizing that Gog Magog set up another kingdom. Let's read it again. And shall go out to deceive the nations which are in the 4 quarters of the earth, Gog and Magog, right? So what does it mean to deceive the nations? That means to trick people, not put a gun to them, a sword. They're going to deceive them. I think the word is planao. Let's look it up. The MOTB, the micro C hip, they're going to get people to take it by deceiving them. See, let me let you in on something. I'll give you a little secret here. The super elite, I'm not talking about Trump. He's not one of the super elite. He's middle management. You know, he's like a McDonald's manager at McDonald's. The guys that collect the money are the guys behind the scenes, right? Which is a super elite. Guess what? They know that the MOTB is a micro C hip. They know that. But they can't tell you that because a lot of you won't take it. So they got to, look, guaranteed, let's see if I'm correct. When they push that chip, when they push that microchip First of all those established churches, those 501c3 mega churches and these top churches that receive what do you call it? Doctor of Divinity, and they go to seminary school. Guess what? They're all going to have meetings, and they're going to tell them. They're going to tell them, look, you got to teach your congregation to take the chip. Did not they do that? Did not they do that with the C Ragamuffin, the jump shot? Did not the black churches push that? Oh, you got to get it, because they're all linked in, man. If you got a 501c3, that means you linked into the government, bro. It says, and shall go out to deceive. So I'm going to look up the word deceive. Deceive. So they're not just going to come out and attack. They're going to set up a new system to deceive people. The Roman Catholic Church is going to make a comeback. Planao, which means what? To cause to stray. Did not the serpent deceive Eve? He said, "No, you will not die. You take this." And the Most High said, "No, but take it. The Most High knows you're gonna become gods in that day. This, that." So what did the serpent do? He deceived Eve. He didn't force. The what you call it, the tree of good knowledge of good and evil, which is not an actual tree. Like you black woman, right? I'm looking at a boneheaded black woman right now, and I said she's a dummy. Hey, I've been with various different women. I've been with women that had high school degrees and women that had college degrees. The women that had college chicks, they bugged out. Every last one of them is bugged the fuck out, and they all fucking hoes. All hoes. They're all hoes anyway. It says to cause to stray, right, by deceiving the people. Because the way they're going to push it is, here I go, sound like a broken record. They're going to get Jake in the NBA. They're going to get, Jake in the music industry, whether they R&B, rap, whatever. They're going to get your different actors. Don't be surprised if they get Denzel and he does a commercial. They're going to really push this thing good, because they're all you actors, even Denzel, all of you rappers, singers, performers, actors, NFL people that play for men that play for the NFL, the NBA, boxing. Floyd is going to probably do a commercial about pushing that chip. They said, "Look, Floyd, we won't lock you up if you do a chip commercial." He said, "Where do I sign up?" Because Floyd ain't going to make it. I hate to bust your bubble. Floyd is not going to make it. He's in too deep. That money got him trapped up. That what do you call that? That talisman. Look at a dollar bill. It's got webs all over it. Webs trap you up. That's a talisman. It's just, that money is spiritual, man. Dude acting all humble. As soon as the nigga hit the lotto or something, he all of a sudden change. He don't know nobody. That's that demon. That's that you trapped. That's a spell. Money is a spell. It's that to cause to stray, to lead astray, not to force astray, but to lead astray, lead aside from the right way. That's what the churches are all about. To go astray, wander, roam about. And roam about, what does it mean to roam about? It means you was a Christian, then you became a Kemetic person, then you went back to Jehovah's Witness, then you became an atheist, then you went back to the Baha'i, you went to the Baha'i faith, then you became a Muslim again, then you became an Israelite, and then you went back to being a Baptist. Because niggas will do that. Right? It said to wonder, right? The scriptures say, "He that wandereth, wanders from the..." Matter of fact, let me look for it. I believe that's Proverbs. Congregate. It says congregate shall remain. Let me do it this way. Let me cheat. What's up, Uncle? And there's actual niggas out there. There's real life Uncle Ruckuses out there. And I met a lot of them. Okay, so let's go. Shall remain in the congregation of the dead. Bible. Yep, I was right. Proverbs. I just didn't know the verse. Okay. The man who strays or planao or is deceived, okay, from the path of understanding, what's the understanding what we teach in the scriptures, will rest in the assembly of the dead. So now when you're teaching that the MOTB is not the mark of the beast, guess what? You are resting among the assembly of the dead. IUIC is dead, ISUPK is dead, Wi-Fi is dead, all of them is dead. All of them is dead. Let me read it in the King James. You know what? I'm sorry. Let me do it this way. Go to the Bible Hub, because they'll give you the King James. I'm going to go to the King James. A man or woman or child who wanders from the way of understanding will rest. Okay, that's New King James. I want the King James. The man that wandereth out of the way of understanding shall remain in the congregation of the dead. IUIC is the army of the dead. When you see them marching, that's those are dead people. I see dead people. Because that's their claim to fame. Look at our armies, man. Our armies is 2 miles long. Yeah, you got 2 miles of dead people. Because you don't have the full. If you do not have 100% truth, you remain among the congregation of the dead. Because if you got everything right and the chip come and you say, no, you can take the chip, guess what? You done lost, bro. That's destruction for you. So we hope and pray that you, members of the IUIC that are of the elect, we believe y'all elect, guarantee y'all gonna get up and leave. You're gonna turn your back on Nate. Unless he wakes up. Let's pray that bonehead wakes up on that day. We're going the first thing I'm gonna watch, I'm gonna go right to the video. Soon as I believe Trump is gonna make the thing about the chip, he's gonna say a little speech. The first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to go to the video to see what Nate got to say. Because I already know Esau, the Bible Belt Edomites, they're going to say that's the mark of the beast. We ain't taking it. This guy Trump, he's a madman. He wants to reopen Alcatraz. We're going to reopen Alcatraz. Somebody please look up, I'm not going to do it. Somebody please look up the Constitution, go to the 25th Amendment. Please, somebody give me the 25th Amendment. Because that's what they should be talking about. The 25th Amendment. When you think of Trump, think of the 25th Amendment. All right? So, to go astray, wander, roam about. And that's what these Christians are doing. That's why we don't got to deal with Christians. They say, see, you scared, you don't want to deal. No, we just despise you. You just trash. We don't want to deal with you. You're a Christian come up, you are deem him to be a persona non grata, to lead away from the truth. So what is the truth concerning the Revelation 13-16? The truth is the way GMS teach it. So if you teach us something other than that, you are among the congregation of the dead. You are a fellow deceiver. You deceive people. Like I said, watch all these churches, these established churches, they're going to push that chip. Guarantee you. To lead into error, to deceive, to be led into error, to be led aside from the path of virtue or truth, to go astray, sin, because taking the chip, allowing yourself to take the chip, the microchip, is a sin. To sever or fall away from the truth, and the truth is the truth, because it's if you have 80% truth or 90% truth, is that the truth? No, that's not the truth. The truth of the matter is that is the whole 100% truth, which makes you a heretic. Bishop Nate is a heretic, right? To be led away into error and sin. Now, Bishop Nate says that taking the chip is sin, but then he'll go to Job. Let's go to Job real quick. Back to the basics. I believe it's 14 verse 10. Let's see if I'm correct. Okay, I'm sorry. Maybe it's 10 and 14. Job 10 and 14. If I sin, well, if you sin, that means you took the mark, right? If I sin, then thou markest me. No, wait a minute. You said that the mark is sin. When you take the mark, that's sin. So which is it? If you sin, then thou markest me. And by the way, that word mark in Revelation 13 is a different word from mark over here. The word mark in Revelation 13 is charagma. The word mark over here is to watch. I believe the word is shema. I'm not going to look it up. If you commit sin, the Most High is looking at you. He said, if he doesn't repent, I'm going to kill him. And thou wilt not acquit me from mine iniquity. So he says that this goes hand in hand with Revelation 13 and 16. Then he went to Revelation 17 and 4, which has absolutely nothing to do with the mark. Like I said this before, and I'm going to continue to say it. I believe this man made a deal for a happy meal. You know what I mean when I say that? I believe he did a backdoor deal. He did a backdoor deal. That's all. Look, they're described in their charter as Islamic. When you think about Islamic, you think about the T word. Why would you have a meeting with the NOI and hug up with them? They're supposed to be the enemy. Okay, so now let me come back over here. I'm sorry. I'm kind of stretching this out like pizza dough. Okay, where are we? Okay, let's come on back. So now the word deceive, right? Let me just look that up. Okay, deceived, planao, is in the New Testament 39 times and 37 verses. I'm going to show you something. To deceive somebody, planao someone, is to lie to them, to lead them to do something that they shouldn't be doing. So if you take that chip, you have erred, and you have to be put to death. You can't take the chip and say, "Oh, you can repent." No, you know what? I wouldn't want to test that theory. Okay, Revelation 19 and 20. And the beast, which is the beast system, was taken, and with him the false prophet, which represents the Roman Catholic Church and all the baby churches. G4105. So the Roman Catholic Church, all Roman Catholic Church have to get that mark, and they're gonna get the new Pope. They're probably gonna get some charismatic guy. He gonna be a smooth talker, and he gonna do a sermon. And all you Roman Catholics, you're gonna take that chip, and you're gonna die right over here in America. With which he deceived, not forced, them that had received the mark, and them that worship his image. It's not talking about a picture of Caesar Borgia. You're going to have atheists that's going to get that mark. You're going to have Muslims, Arabs that's going to get the mark. You're going to have Buddhists that's going to get the mark. The mark and the worshiping of the beast has nothing to do with Caesar Borgia. Caesar Borgia is not going to make a comeback, Nate. And then that worship his image. His image is the system, that you're a part of the system. And I said in previous videos that this mark is going to come in classes. All NYPD, you got to get the MO, you got to get the microchip in order to, become nurses, doctors, school teachers, students, Army, Navy, Air Force, Marines. You work for the government, the Senate, that rich and poor, free and bond, right? The Senate, all senators got to get it. The president got to get it. All of them got to go ahead and get it in order for you to remain in the system. And if the ones of you that's, I don't know, that might be the mark of the beast, but if you let your ass miss a couple of meals, they're talking about in the next couple of weeks, the shelves are going to be empty. Now, I did go to BJ's, and I wanted to get, I went past where they sell the, is that a Ninja? I think it's the Bullet. I got one, which is smaller than a Ninja. And I remember a couple days ago, it was packed. Then there was only like 2 of them, and the boxes looked like they were tore open. So I got like a Bullet, the smaller one, because when I make my smoothies, because I think a Bullet right now. I used to have a Ninja. But anyway, I said, damn. The other day, the shelves are full. Now there's 2 or 3 of them, and it looked like the box was open, and people were fumbling with it, So they're talking about that in the next coming weeks, they said stock up, because the next couple of weeks, 2 weeks from now, 3 weeks from now, they said that the shelves are going to be empty. So now this could be a plan to say you're going to miss some meals, and then you're going to be desperate to take that chip. The chip is down the line. 6 months from now, 3 months from now, maybe. Maybe the beginning of 2026, because they're a little behind schedule. And we've been talking about this so much, we sound like a broken record, but this is the number one main prophecy before the rest of the prophecies come to pass, before the deliverance, destruction, and the kingdom. This prophecy, the world's not coming to an end, the system's not coming to an end until and unless the prophecy of the mark of the beast, which is the microchip, And you heard it first from GMS. So if you take it, you can't say, well, I didn't know. The Lord's going to tell you, yes, you did know, because I sent my prophets down to tell you not to take it. And you wound up, well, I didn't know to do with the prophets. Well, that's not my problem. So open up your mouth so you can eat a missile. Here it is. Let me see, where else is it? Give me a second here. Let me do this. I didn't want to go into the mark, but the Spirit, give me a second. That's the main precept that I want. Deceive them that what? Receive the mark of the beast, and them that worship his image. These both were cast alive into the lake of fire, burning with brimstones. That's talking about, it says, let me see, I'm sorry, the beast was taken, the false prophet. That's talking about the system is going to be destroyed, but Babylon, this place, the U.S., will be set on fire, and it's going to look, what John saw was from a bird's eye view, schematic, and he saw it, look down, and he saw something that was on fire that looked like a big lake. It's not talking about hell. Nate is teaching that, oh, that's talking about hell too. It ain't talking about hell, so he's waxing worse and worse. Please forgive me for stretching this out, but I got to go through this because, you're going to have certain people, I never believed that. You never broke it down to me right. Look, we've been broke it down to you right. All you got to do is not to take that chip. That's it. So I'm sorry, y'all. Let me come on back. And we know the chip is right around the corner because there's what's happening right now, wars and rumors of wars, man. And shall go out to deceive the nations which are in the four quarters of the earth, Gog and Magog. So Nate is saying that this is talking about we're going to be in the kingdom for 1,000 years, and Gog and Magog going to get together, and which Gog and Magog mean the same thing as Gog and Magog. Gog from Gog, Ma means from Gog, which is Hebrew. After 1,000 years of us being in the kingdom, it's going to be Esau's last stand. He's going to beat us up a little. We're going to get bruised up, and then the Most High going to break out the chains and then come. No, that's not happening. This right here, the 8th verse, and shall go out to deceive the nations which are in the four quarters of the earth. When you go back to the Roman Empire didn't have control of the whole planet Earth. The beast system has control of the whole Earth. The whole planet Earth. That's why there's over 800 military bases, U.S. military bases. In order for you to fly a plane anywhere on the planet Earth, the official language of aeronautics is English. So you can be a German guy, you better learn how to speak English. You can't become a pilot. Russian guy, that shows you that they're the prince of the power of the air. To gather them together to battle, the number of whom is as the sand of the sea. That's getting ready to happen in our lifetimes. That's because the missiles are going to hit in the midst of the war. They're going to be in hot war. The Northern Army is going to go down to the Great Levant and all these troops, all these major modern troops, they're going to all meet in the Levant, in that area of the Red Sea, of Jerusalem, of the Gulf of Suez, the Gulf of Akbar, Egypt, that region right there, where Iran is at, Iraq. That is called the Levant. They're going to all meet in the Levant. The Northern Army is going to come to the Levant. And they said they're not coming back. They're going to be made a part of the soil. Gather them together. So when Nate says, Gog and Magog, we're going to be in the kingdom for 1,000 years, and Gog and Magog going to come and he's going to jump us. And he's still teaching that fucking nonsense, man. Yawasop, wake your fucking ass up. If you want to elect. Kanai Gabar, wake your ass up. You got a madman sitting in that seat. He's like the Black Trump. And Trump is basically President Camacho. Look up President Camacho on YouTube. That's Trump. And they went up on the breadth of the earth, which is the Levant, which includes Palestine, and compassed the camp of the saints. The camp of the saints, remember we went to the wilderness, right? What was the wilderness to the Israelites? It was a camp, right? Did we not camp out? Let me look up the word camp. Did they not have tents? The whole concept of camping is that you got to have tents, right? Let me look up the word camp just to see what it means in the Greek. Camp. Okay, let's listen to it.
Strong's G 3925. Parembale. Parembale.
Parembole. An encampment, the camp of Israel. Ooh, I didn't know they were going to say that. So what's the camp of the saints? The land of Israel. So that when it said they're going to meet at the breadth of the earth, that's the land, that's Palestine, right? It said the camp of Israel in the desert, used for the city of Jerusalem, because they're going to be fighting over whether they're going to get Jerusalem. That's why Netanyahu want to bomb Iran, and the U.S. don't want to get involved in that, because they know that's going to lead to world, because they got their scholars. They're saying if that happens, there's going to be Armageddon. The lake of fire is going to come. They know the lake of fire is U.S. And so much as that was to be the Israelites, what formerly the encampment had been in the desert of the sacred congregation or assembly of Israel. Where are we supposed to assemble? In Palestine, right? The camp of the saints is the land of Israel, as it had been gathered formerly in camps in the wilderness. The barracks of the Roman soldiers, which at Jerusalem were in the castle of Antonia, an army in the line of battle. Yeah, because they camp out, you know. They put up these, the military put up these industrial tents because they camp out in the desert. So now let's come back over here. That's why it's important to have it's good to have the blue letter. Okay, so it says, and they went up on the breadth of the earth. Where's the breadth of the earth? The Middle East, the Levant, right? And compassed the camp of the saints, which is Jerusalem. And what does it mean to compass? To circle, right? Let's look that up. Compass.
Strong's G 2944. Kuklao. Kuklao.
And by the
Thayer's
way,
Lexicon, related entry. Kukluo. Kukluo.
by the way, the Ku Klux Klan, you know what the Ku Klux represent? It means the circle clan. To go around, lead around, to surround, encircle, encompass a person standing around of besiegers. They're going to besiege that land again, like they did in 70 AD. Did not they encamp around us back in 70 AD? They encamped around about Jerusalem. So they're going to go to Palestine again, because there's going to be a fight over, Netanyahu wanted to build the kingdom. We're going to really build the kingdom, which they don't understand the scriptures. Now the elite got to understand. This is beautiful, man. So it says, and they went up on the breadth of the earth, which is where? In the Middle East. They're all going to meet in the Middle East. Joel 2, the Northern Army, right? They're going to be, the hinder part is going to be in, matter of fact, I want to read it. I want to read it verbatim. Joel 2. This is scriptures that we know. You just got to go through them sometimes. But I remove far from you the Northern Army. The Northern Army represents the U.S. military forces, and will drive them into a land barren and desolate, which is a desert, with its face toward the east sea. That's the Euphrates, and his hinder part toward the utmost sea, which is the Red Sea, and his stink, that's the rotten bodies, shall come up, and his ill savior shall come up, because he have done great things. So they're going to empty the U.S. of anybody that's in the military. You know what they're going to do? They did this before during the baby Bush administration with the war over there in Iraq. They had people that were former military that retired. They said, put your fatigues back on. You're going out there. And they had judges. They had judges going out there. They had police officers that were in the military. They had all kind of people, that construction workers, and they called them all back to fight. And a lot of them never came back. There was judges that they died over there. I'm talking about in the 90s. That was during the time of, like I said, during the time of Bush. You had the daddy Bush, and then you had the baby Bush. So that's going to happen again. So you can be a judge. You got to. This guy could be in his 50s or whatever. Look, you got to get back out there. We need y'all. They're going to empty every military guy, and they're going to push them over there, because something major is going to happen over resources in that land and to take that land. Keep your eyes on the Middle East. Keep your eyes on the Great Levant. Give me a second. The Levant. Okay, let me do this. The Levant is a bird of the Eastern Mediterranean. Give me a second. Let me go to maps. I should go to images. Okay, I don't want this. But this represents the Levant. Let me do this. Okay, here we go. Let it open up. Okay, like I said, you got the wilderness, you got Edom, the land of Edom, Moab, Ammon, right? Ammonites, right? You got Israel. This is the Levant. Where they're going to be stationed is right around here. Desert Storm, they were stationed right. They were encamped. The U.S. military was encamped right around here. Their face is going to be toward the East Sea, which is Euphrates, is up here, and there's hinder parts to the Great Sea, which is the Red Sea. It's called the Sea. That's the Levant. That's where the Northern Army is going to go to, and missiles are going to come down and jack this whole place up, including the land of Israel. Right, Lebanon, Israel. Lebanon is a Beirut. This is all our land right here. All this is going to be missiles going to be shot on that. And at the same time, it's going to be shot on, Babylon the Great. But this is going to be built back up. This region is going to be built. And by the way, this is our land. Ron Dalton said, "Oh, that's a small area, Israel. You can't fit all them people." He doesn't understand. If you read Genesis 15 about the last verse, the last two verses, I went through it yesterday. This is all our land. It said from the Nile to the great river Euphrates. So all this land here is going to be our land. The Israelis, they only got this right here. That's why they're trying to push the people of Gaza out. That's the Gaza Strip up there. Because they want to get the whole land. They know they don't got the whole land. But it's going to backfire on them, because now he's talking about attacking Iran. The U.S. doesn't want to get involved in it because the U.S. is smart enough to know that will be World War III, and they know that it's prophecy in the scriptures. This is why they hate us. They hate the prophets. Because we're telling you this is going to happen in our lifetime. We ain't never told you, it could be another 1,000 years. You know what I'm talking about, right? So, let's come back here. And Isaiah 24, I don't even need to go to Isaiah 24 because it's so nonsensical, but I'll touch on it. I'm sorry, let's go here, Revelation. See this guy that looked like an Edomite that fell off? Now maybe he is an Edomite. He looked like an Edomite, but let's say he's a Jake. He fell off. You're done. This is not the time to fall off, brother. It wasn't the time to fall off. You're in the home stretch and you falling off. I always had doubt about it. Let me tell you something. I never had doubt about this. Okay, so come on back. Then I'm going to go to Isaiah 24, then I'm going to close. So when Nate goes into this breakdown, he don't know what the fuck he's talking about. Let me go to the 9th verse. And they went up on the breadth of the earth. Now we found out what that was. And compassed the camp of the saints about and the beloved city. And fire came down from the Most High out of heaven and devoured them. So there will not be any U.S. military personnel in America. They're all going to be in the Middle East. Something major is going to happen where they got to empty all the troops. All these modern day troops of these different nations, they're all going to bring their best soldiers. Joel 3 goes into that. And the devil, which is the physical counterpart of the spiritual demon Satan, that deceived them to do what? To be a part of the system and to ultimately take the microchip, was cast into the lake of fire. That represents Babylon the Great and brimstone, where the beast and the false prophet are, and shall be tormented day and night forever and ever. Now, Nada say, well, that's talking about a spiritual hell that you better know. It's not talking about that. It's talking about the torment is the burning. They're going to already be dead. They're going to already be in the spiritual realm, but the fire is going to go up. So when John saw it, he said, yeah, they're in torment. Because he saw people burning up. And he said, well, these people are in torment. But the torment is going to be when you go into captivity. When you die, and when you come back, you're going to experience, you Edomites, you're going to experience, in the other nation, you're going to experience that great fire. Then you're going to come back and reincarnate. You're going to go to the spiritual realm. Then you're going to come back and you're going to be born into slavery. When you're born, the only thing you're going to learn is to be a slave. You ain't gonna know nothing. You ain't even gonna know that you're an Edomite until we tell you you're an Edomite, man. So there ain't gonna be no goddamn, after 1,000 years in the kingdom, the righteous is gonna rule for 1,000 years and Gog is gonna jump us. That shit ain't gonna happen, man. That simply doesn't make any sense. Okay, so now let me come over here. I really don't gotta go into that. Isaiah 24 says that they're going to be, let me go to that. Let me just go right to the point. Isaiah 24. This is the same event. Okay, the earth is utterly broken down, and the earth is clean dissolved. The earth is moved exceedingly. The earth shall reel to and fro like a drunkard, and shall be removed like a cottage, and the transgression thereof shall be heavy upon it, and it shall fall and not rise up again. It shall fall and not rise up again. It's talking about who? Esau. Who's the last power? Esau is the last power. Esau is the end of the world. Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth, right? And so when these devils go down, that's also in Isaiah 14, 21. When Esau goes down, he's not coming back again. It says, and it shall, well, we went through this too, Malachi 4. Shall neither leave the root or branch. So how they going to make they're not going to make a comeback. Stop listening to Nate with his bullshit. And it shall come to pass in that day that the Lord, when the destruction comes and the kingdom comes, shall punish the host of the high ones, the elite that are on high. And they're going to escape. They're not going to take some missile. They're going to escape. They're going to have an escape plan. And then wherever they go, we're going to catch them because we're going to be spiritual. We're going to be like angels in human bodies. Extraterrestrials / angels. We're going to be like DC and Marvel comic heroes. And there's nothing that can destroy us. Don't think about throwing kryptonite at us. It ain't going to work. It ain't going to work. Let me read that again. And it shall come to pass in that day that Yahweh shall punish the host of the high one. The hosts of the high ones are the elite that are on high, and the kings of the earth upon the earth. Because they're going to get them crowns slapped off their heads, and they're going to get work assignments. And they shall be gathered together as prisoners are gathered in the pit, and shall be shut up in the prison, and after many days shall they be visited. Why are they going to be visited? Because, okay, now we need 2,000 people to do this. So we're going to open up them gates and we're going to pull them out. Okay, we got 2,200. Okay, boom. Let them go on the field. Let them just keep working. I'll tell them when they can eat. They might not fucking eat for 2 days. Then I might feed them some slop. And they showed you that in the movie, the Battlefield Earth. They showed you how Jake took over Esau, man. And every one of those people, the rat brains, that movie's on YouTube. It still should be up there. Everybody that was under authority, under the new rulership, they were all Edomites. There was no Jakes. I don't remember seeing a Jake. There were no Moabites. It was just Edomites. It was all Edomites. And they put them in hardcore slavery. And the way they would bathe them, they would take hoses and they would hose them down. Then they would eat, they would feed them slop, and they would fight over that slop. But then in the end of the movie, they got the power back. Well, I guess Nate saw that movie. Esau ain't getting no fucking power. Gog ain't getting no power back, bro. Once he's and this is not talking about they're gonna be in the pit and they're gonna escape. It would have said that in this chapter right here. This is talking about after the missiles drop and the destruction come and we're delivered. This is talking about the kingdom of heaven. Showing you that there's going to be other nations in the kingdom of heaven. They're going to go. Is the white man going to be in the kingdom? Yes, he is going to be in the kingdom. Okay, thank you. Walk down the street. But what is the part he's going to play? He's going to play a slave. So you can start teaching, yes, all nations will be in the kingdom of heaven. But they're going to be slaves in the kingdom of heaven. Anyway, with that, I'm going to say shalom. I went long. Please forgive me. Shalom. On to the next. Shalom.